So, you got a PSVR, just for No Man's Sky, and like many of us are eagerly anticipating the Beyond update. But what games will give you the same kind of feelings as No Man's Sky? What to play in the meantime? I'm a fan of both No Man's Sky and PlayStation VR. I'm Sci-Fi Game Cat Henry, and this is PSVR Game All Day. First, let's get the channel pimping out of the way. If you like what you see, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel. Comments and suggestions would always be appreciated as well. All videos were captured from the social screen on a regular PS4, so resolution will be lower than what you would experience in the headset. Now, let's get to gaming. First up is an obvious choice, Star Trek Bridge Crew. Before Next dropped on No Man's Sky, we had teases of frigates and multiplayer. Star Trek Bridge Crew is a lot of our pre-Next wishes come true. It's a 4-way multiplayer co-op game, with each member playing a role on the bridge. Captain, helmsman, tactical, and engineering. And you get to play with all the controls you would expect to, on 3 different starships. The online multiplayer base is a pretty cool bunch, and there usually isn't a problem finding games. You can always invite some friends to a custom lobby, or try it solo, jumping from station to station. Either way, it's a good time. Do you like tearing it up in the roamer? Then I would suggest Dirt Rally. It's much more of a racing simulator, but it's very satisfying for that stepping on it itch. You can race on dirt, snow, ice, and mud, with a stable of cars. There are also daily, weekly, and monthly challenges in an online leaderboard. Dirt Rally is also compatible with steering wheel controllers. An honorable mention is the WIPEOUT Omega Collection, a futuristic fast-paced racer with hover vehicles. While WIPEOUT is a really good racing game, it didn't make the number 1 due to a substantially different feel than the roamer. Another fairly obvious choice is the Solus Project. Much like No Man's Sky, you are an astronaut trying to survive after crash landing on an uncharted planet. There are also mysteries to be solved and regions to explore in this survival-heavy space game. If you enjoyed the survival mode or permadeath of No Man's Sky, give Solus Project a shot. It's also frequently on sale in the PlayStation Store. If blasting space pirates in No Man's Sky is your thing, you can't go wrong with Valkyrie, a cockpit shooter with online multiplayer. Valkyrie also has HOTAS support for greater control and immersion. It plays kind of like an online first-person shooter with spaceships. Modes include team battles, deathmatch, capture the flag, and area control. If you enjoy simply flying, then Ulrawings might be more up your alley. Ulrawings, like Dirt Rally, is more simulation heavy, but also immensely satisfying. There are 4 planes to unlock, a variety of missions, and a free flight mode for messing around. Ulrawings also has HOTAS support, but accepts the Move controllers and the DualShock as well. In Detached, you play an astronaut in an EVA suit trying to piece together a shattered space station. The controls are the real challenge, as you have 6 degrees of flight control and accurate physics. I'd suggest getting your VR legs before trying this one, as the twisting, turning, and rolling are not for the squeamish. Got a little Vy'Keen in ya? Do you like blasting every sentinel you see? Then here are a couple VR shooters for you. Doom VFR. Doom is a very intense first-person shooter and hard to put down. In it, you'll be blasting interdimensional demons with an arsenal of weapons. Doom VFR can be played with DualShock, Move controllers, and my favorite, the aim controller, a rifle-styled light gun with analog sticks built in. Sadly, there is no multiplayer component for Doom VFR, but it does include classic maps, which if you're an older gamer, like me, are a wonder to revisit in VR. Farpoint. The aim controller debuted with Farpoint, and the tracking shines best with this game. Farpoint has a very good campaign storyline, arcade-style challenge stages, and a one-on-one multiplayer mode, which has a very interesting ally spawning mechanic. Both Doom and Farpoint have sci-fi themes and settings, and part of the reason I recommend them. Other shooters worth mentioning are Borderlands 2, a full VR conversion of the classic, with aim controller support, and DLC coming soon. For multiplayer, there is the 4-on-4 tactical shooter Firewall 0 Hour. Firewall feels much like CSGO or Rainbow Six Siege. and also includes the aim controller. And finally, the criminally underrated Killing Floor Incursion. If you want more horror in the gameplay, Killing Floor using the Move controllers has co-op multiplayer and is a bloody good time. Speaking of horror, do you enjoy the Lovecraftian tones of the abandoned building lore? How about something in between Event Horizon and Resident Evil? The Persistence. It's a survival shooter set in an ever-changing space station orbiting a black hole. Dying will happen frequently, but you'll keep all of your unlocked weapons and shield upgrades, as well as your stem cell-fueled genetic alterations. But the same system that revives you in a different body is also creating mutant horrors that lurk the space station. Did I mention Resident Evil earlier? In an honorable mention, RE7 is very close, but it has no sci-fi theme. But for horror fans in PlayStation VR, the horror inside is delicious. If you are a fan of the lore and story of No Man's Sky, the next pick should satisfy. In Red Matter, you're an astronaut spy trying to steal secrets from an abandoned Russian outpost on a distant moon. You must puzzle your way through the base and discover the mysteries and tragedies that befell the crew along the way. Great atmosphere, story, and puzzles. And of course, Skyrim. Be the Dragonborn, fight a civil war, climb the ranks of the Assassin's Guild, or even become a werewolf. With hundreds of hours of missions and all of the DLC Skyrim delivers. It's not science fiction, but there are 2 moons over Tamriel. Now if you bought PlayStation VR and don't have No Man's Sky, do it. You can pick it up for cheap. The updates are free, and the community is strong. Some YouTubers I'd recommend for the community information include CobraTV, Sword, and the man with all the best information and tips, Xaine'sWorld. If you already have No Man's Sky and are curious about PlayStation VR, this is just a taste of the VR goodness you can enjoy. YouTubers I'd recommend for PlayStation VR information, Polish Paul, and Without Parole Games. As a matter of fact, it's because I love Without Parole Games that I've changed my name to GameCat. I usually live stream No Man's Sky on Mondays at about 10 or 11 a.m. Mountain Time, and live stream PlayStation VR games Tuesday at about 10 or 11 a.m. Mountain Time as well. I say usually as real life has an annoying way of interfering with playtime. In the description I have some links to some Spotify gaming playlists I made, 2 of them for No Man's Sky, a link to an Android crafting app in No Man's Sky, and links to all the streamers I've mentioned in this video. As a bonus, these are 2 games that should be in your VR library, regardless of No Man's Sky. They're just that good. Beat Saber. Simple concept, simple fun. Not only is Beat Saber one of the best games for PlayStation VR, but a pretty decent workout. ASTROBOT, starring Sony's adorable new VR mascot. Filled with wonderful old-school platforming action, ASTROBOT oozes joy, challenge, and most importantly, polish. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you found a game or 2 you can play in glorious VR in between journeys in No Man's Sky. Please feel free to comment with any recommendations you might have, or debate any of the picks I made. Sure, there are other games I could have suggested, but I felt I should only recommend the games that I've played. Safe journeys, traveler, and as always, live long and prosper.